Hello, everyone. You are about to hear a brief retelling of the movie Higher Education. Enjoy the movie. A new school year is beginning at the University of Columbus. We meet three freshmen, Remy, Kristen, and Malik. When the dark-skinned guy entered the elevator behind Kristen, she immediately grabbed her purse. Everyone sets up their dorm room to their liking. Malik is a talented track and field athlete, and he had his eye on an athlete named Deja. Kristen is introduced to her roommate by Monet. In the evening, the seniors flip a car. Girlfriends offers Kristen to rent an apartment with them, but she doesn't have the money for it, barely enough to pay for school. The crazy party is in full swing. The frat boys are getting to know the freshmen. The dark-skinned students, on the other hand, are having a party in a more intimate setting. In Fudge's cabin, which the white guys in the next room are not happy about, because classes start tomorrow. Remy had to call campus security, and soon the whole crowd was dispersed. Fudge is outraged. The other parties aren't getting covered. Probably because they're rock and roll and not rap. Kristen left the party because her friends got drunk and started acting like animals. On the way to the dorm, she met Taryn, a fourth-year student, who advised her not to go out alone at such a time, as they might be attacked. Taryn suggested the girl join the Society of Supporters of Chastity. Wayne returned to his room late at night and played loud music. An angry Malik turned it off and asked his roommate to stop messing up their place. His side of the room already stinks. The white guys are Disneyland, the Asians are Chinatown, the Latinos are the Western Frontier, and they're the dark-skinned black hole. That's how Fudge describes the local bands. He's been hanging out here for 6 years and still hasn't graduated. Professor Maurice Phipps is a political science professor, and he needed a volunteer for his first lecture on politics. Malik comes to the blackboard. He has to name the names that Phipps has ticked off. The named students have to stand up, including Kristen and Malik. Now, these students have not paid their tuition yet. They need to leave the auditorium right now. This is not a charity. Malik called the instructor a bro and tried to convince him that he wasn't just some dumb jock, but Phipps wasn't so sure. Familiarity and begging will not be tolerated. Only now Malik has learned that he is being paid an incomplete athletic scholarship for some reason, and Christine has been advised to just get a job. The track and field athlete came to the stadium. In order to receive a full scholarship, he would need to compete consistently for the university. Phipps and his friend Dredge returned to the room and cranked up the music to full volume, also starting to go through Remy's refrigerator. Fudge responded to Fudge's objection with threats. The guy cannot study in such conditions, so he and his neighbor just moved. Malik complains to Fudge that he will be able to study here only if he is constantly running. Remy is a strange guy. He finds it hard to find friends on campus and decides to drop by the party. At the same time, Kristen's friends are boozing again. Today they managed to get our heroine drunk too. Billy's frat boy took her to his place, while her friends don't care about her. Billy threw Crystal on the bed and nailed her request to put on a condom. The girl asked to stop and fought back, and after being scared ran out of the frat house. All the guys laugh at her and at Billy. Remy boorishly asks for details and almost gets punched in the face for it. Kristen is crying in her bed. Billy started calling her, and he called the neighbor a dark-skinned bitch. Monet tells Fudge and the other brothers what happened. Remy ponders how he can get into the fraternity. He probably needs to do something crazy to do it, and he's going to do it. The guys pile into the fraternity building, and Kristen points out the rapist. Fudge and Dredge grab Billy and drag him outside. Really, they don't care about the white girl. What matters is that the asshole has no respect for women. The guy whimpered and apologized to this strong and beautiful woman. Several cars with guards pulled up, but apparently to protect themselves for the future. Billy declared that everything was all right and he had no beef with anyone. Dredge and Fudge saw the former neighbor, laughed at him, and called him a goddamn bank. The girlfriends walked back into the building as if nothing had happened. Kristen came to the meeting where she was invited by Taryn, who says that 1 in 4 girls aged 14 and over has been used or attempted to be used. Malik became friends with Fudge. Despite the fact that the latter has not attended classes for a long time, he has a large library and is engaged in self-development. One day Remy, lonely sitting with a book on the steps, approached a stranger in boots and offered to go for a drink with him and his friends. That's how the strange guy met Scott and his shaved-headed Aryan brothers. Kristen tells Taryn what happened to her, but she won't go to the uni authorities. Billy will make it look like she wanted it anyway. The professor gave Malik an F because his written work was illiterate, despite the good content. As he left, the kid quietly muttered a jerk and the professor didn't let it pass. Phipps assures the student that the world owes him nothing and he will not receive special treatment because of the color of his skin. Malik participates in the athletics competition between universities. He ran badly in the relay race and his team lost in this discipline. The leader of the team called him a weak link. The athletes almost got into a fight. Malik thinks that the guy is a disgrace because he meets with a white blonde while he himself pampers DEA. Meanwhile, Aryan's process Remy, saying America doesn't belong to him anymore and he may not get a job just because of quotas for colored people. Now the White Brotherhood is his new family and they take care of their people. Dreads helps Malik with his studies, but Kristen takes an interesting look at her new friend. Malik complains to the teacher about racism. No crosses are burned in front of the campus, but he still feels it. White guys just drive around in their expensive cars and don't worry about anything, and he has to run. So your problem is economic, not the other way around. Mr. Phipps explains to him. He makes Malik realize that he just needs to study harder. Remy has shaved his head and now looks unkindly at the dark-skinned Asian and Indian students. Kristen is handing out flyers inviting them to the Chastity Club. Wayne would also like to come, but Kristen replies that the club is for women only. How do you want a chaste society if you don't want men in it? Wayne wonders. While the other students are having fun at the Halloween party, the girls from the club have a meeting and chant no to violence. Kristen talks about what she's recently been through. At the same time, skinheads attacked a mixed couple and brutally beat up another kid. They ordered him to stay away from white girls, while they also beat up the girl. Kristen asks Taryn to stay over at her place that night, chatting and stuff, but she gives her time to think about it some more, so it's not a spontaneous decision. Maine's neighbor also understands where things are going. Malik complains that it is difficult for him to study and run at the same time, even annoying that he is always complaining about something. He's been given a chance that most people only dream of. He just needs to work hard. The athletes spent the night together. One of the Nazis got a bunch of old guns, but Remy's got a bigger gun. He's been working part-time for 2 years to buy a Glock. His dad taught him how to shoot when he was 9. Wayne did show up at the Chastity Club. He and Kristen agreed to meet and the girl is getting ready to go out with him. Except the next thing we see is Kristen holding Taryn's hand. This night the blonde didn't go back to her room, but she didn't choose and started a relationship with both Wayne and Taryn at the same time. Malik once again complains about even oppressing others. Remy listened to the conversation. He noticed Malik's Black Panther t-shirt, which turns out to be racist too, and called him a rude word. Remy sped up to avoid getting punched in the face, but Malik came into his room. He'd been hiding his identity for so long, but now it was clear how he'd been treating the dark-skinned student all this time, so maybe he'd tell Malik to his face. But Remy had pissed it away. Malik laughed and called him crazy and a bald asshole. Remy freaked out and trashed his room. In helplessness he screams that he's not afraid of Malik. After paying, Remy pulls out a gun and loads it. The neighbor comes in. He's shocked. The bald man has wreaked havoc and is on his side. Remy's mind was blown again. He spread his arms and started yelling that he was a superior race, a lord. Malik came to the noise and quieted the Aryan, but he suddenly pointed a gun at the students. He went wild and said some nasty things to his Jewish neighbor, and he called Malik a monkey and a slave. He threatens to kill them all. Holding the guys at gunpoint, the psychopath packed up and ran away. Malik is furious. He is going to catch up with Remy, but the guards get in his way and grab the excited guy. Remy was eventually able to escape. Malik did not want to talk to his neighbor and later said that he decided to move in with his neighbors. There he will be safer and more comfortable. The guy didn't like being poked in the face with a gun like he was back in hell. Wayne is already offended that his neighbor puts him almost on a par with skinheads, because not all white people are like that. After the emergency, life on campus goes on. Kristen is handing out flyers and inviting people to the Freedom Festival. Remy hangs out with cheaters and says he left uni because there's no point. The best job will still go to either others or Asians. Skinheads are found by dark-skinned students and a fight breaks out. An overjoyed Malik finally kicks Remy off, though he gets punched in the face himself too. DEA doesn't like that the guy and his friends are acting like savages. Apparently, he's more interested in messing around with his brothers than studying. The others are pissed off too, especially Remy, who threatens to declare war on the others and take Malik down, but Scott sits them down. Here are the dudes from Help constantly taking shots at each other. They're ready to spill blood. And one of them shot a human, or at least an animal. Who has the guts to take a shot? Remy confidently stated he would do it. Here Scott dragged over a case with a sniper rifle. If you're ready to talk to Remy, then go. Shoot one of them. Apparently he was taking the Freshmen for a ride, but the madman had really decided to go for a terrible crime. Many students came to the festival, including Malik and Deja. Remy went up to the roof with a rifle. The other guys saw the crazies and started beating them up. Running away from the guards, Scott yelled into his radio for Remy to get started. White power, he yells, and Remy starts aiming at Malik. The first shot merged with the roar of a passing airplane, but Malik is familiar with the sound. Another shot and everyone panics and runs away. A white guy fell to the ground. Remy reloaded and kept firing. One bullet hits Dea, she collapses to the ground. The girl is crying and choking on blood for what she asks. Professor Phipps runs up and asks the shocked Malik to get ready. They have to take the girl to the hospital. After a few seconds, Malik regained consciousness, but didn't run for help, but rushed to the roof. On the stairs, he and Remy clashed, the other fighting back. Malik injured his leg in the fall. Baldy yells that he's a human being and Malik is a monkey. The student jumped on the skinhead and was about to cut him down, but then security ran up, pulled him aside, and started beating him with batons. Remy could have escaped again, but all the doors were locked. The guards drove him into a dead end. Suddenly, Remy cried and started apologizing to Malik. He said he wanted to build, he wanted to be an engineer, he was in pain, and then pointed a gun at his mouth and shot himself. Running outside, Malik learned that Deja did not survive. Mr. Phipps gave him a hug. 3 people were killed at the Intercultural Unification Festival. One of whom was the shooter. White power, skinheads watching the coverage in their hideout. Malik doesn't know what to do now. Phipps says the student has accomplished a lot this semester, so he will respect any decision he makes to leave the university or stay. A memorial has been set up at the Columbus statue for the student who died. Kristen blames herself for what happened as well. Malik reassures her. They finally meet. Funny how they had never talked before. The students agree to meet again at Mr. Phipps' lecture.